Good morning, class. Our topic for today is Humanistic Psychology by Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers. And introduction to our topic, Humanistic Psychology. Humanistic Psychology emerged in the 1950s as an action to behaviorism and psychoanalysis. It focuses on free will, personal growth, and human potential. Major contributor by Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. It emphasizes subjective experience and holistic understanding of a person. What are the key assumptions? Humans are naturally good and capable of growth. Everyone need to grow and need to have connection to each others. People have inherent drive towards self-actualization. Behavior is influenced by free will, not just external forces. It means we need to engage to each other and then understand individual require a holistic approach. Abraham Maslow contribution, we have the humanistic perspective. Humans have natural desire to fulfill their potential. Then propose the influential hierarchy of needs. Self-actualization is highest motivation. Maslow hierarchy of needs. We have the psychological needs. What are the basic needs of every human? We have the food, water, shelter, and and of course we need to rest. And number two, safety needs, security, especially in safety and stability in terms of food. Then we have the number three, the love and belongingness. We need to have a relationship and connection to each other. Then number four, esteem needs. We need to respect, confidence, and recognition. Number five, self-actualization, realizing full potential of each every one of us. Self-actualization is characterized by include of the following: creativity and spontaneity and deep relationship, realistic perception of world, strong moral and ethical principles, acceptance of self and others. Next, we have the Carl Rogers central concept. We have the actualization tendency, natural growth drive. Each everyone have the natural growth and to have the progress in each every one of us. And number two is self-concept, how we see ourselves or how we act or how we identify ourselves. Then number three, ideal self, how we want to be. How do we want to be to see us or how to judge us by other peoples. Then number four, congruency versus incongruency, alignment between real and ideal selves. Then we have the unconditional positive regards. According to Rogers, people grow best when the empathy or empathizes to each other, to one another, genuine or being authentic. Unconditional positive regards, this allow individual to explore feelings without fear or judgment. Then we have humanistic therapy, known as client-centered therapy. And we have the humanistic therapy, known as client-centered therapy. Non-directive, therapists encourage exploration of giving advice. It focuses on self-exploration. We need each everyone to explore or need to experience something in our life. Then acceptance in what we have or what we are today. And personal awareness. The goal of this is to help client achieve self-actualization. Application of humanistic psychology in counseling, client-centered techniques, empathy, reflection. And in education, we have the student-centered learning, promotes creativity and autonomy of each of the student. In organization, we have the employee motivation, personal growth. It means you have to develop our personal growth. And everyday life, we need to mindfulness, how we act and how we dealing to others. Then self-care, personal development. Strength of humanistic psychology emphasizes positive human potential, encourages self-awareness and personal growth, influential innovation, therapy, and social works, promote holistic understanding and behavior. And if we have the strength, we have the criticism. Criticism is lack of precise scientific measure, means lack of evidence or fact. Then concept like self-actualization are subjective, means sometimes we need to ask the client as their point of view. Then overall I optimistic about human nature. Then less empirical evidence compared to cognitive and behavioral approaches. Humanistic versus other approaches. We have the humanistic and behaviorism. For behaviorism, focusing internal behavior. It means external, how we use our character and behave to others. And humanistic, focusing on internal experience. Well, it's about the emotion or how we react to something that affect us. Then humanistic and cognitive focus on thinking patterns, how we think, how we evaluate, and humanistic focus on emotion, meaning, experiences. Then we have also the limitation of humanistic therapy, not always effective for severe mental disorder. Humanistic therapy is not just a medicine, it's just a cure. Then we really rely too much on clients' self-direction and the interpretation and evaluation of subjective. And we have the legacy and impact, influence modern counseling techniques, influence modern counseling techniques. We have the encourages positive psychology movement, promote human potential, wellness, and holistic care, still used widely in education, therapy, and leadership. Example of that is the organization that you're the as a humanistic. And last, we have the conclusion. Humanistic psychology highlights free will, personal meaning, and human potential. It stresses the empathy, personal growth, and authentic relationship. Continue to shape modern therapy and education, and encourages viewing human as capable, responsible, and growth-driven. And that's it, class. Thank you.